In this video, you're gonna find out what happens to your body and brain if you ate only raw eggs for 100 hours. In the time it takes me to eat the first raw egg of the challenge, let me explain to you what I'm about to be completely cut off from. And go. Fiber, vitamin C, biotin, and carbohydrate. Without fiber, your gut bacteria starts dying off, which directly tanks your mood, and of course, you'll see this later on. Vitamin C cannot be produced by the body, and after just days without it, the tissues start breaking down. Now, biotin is actually interesting because it's found in eggs, but when left uncooked, raw eggs contain a protein called avidine that binds to the biotin and flushes it out. So in essence, eating raw eggs literally steals the biotin from your body. Biotin, by the way, encourages the growth of the hair, skin, and nails. Now, of course, many of you are familiar with carbs. Without them, you're forced to switch fuel sources, which takes days and it feels terrible. It's important to understand why I did it, because as you'll soon find out, my reasons for why clash strongly with the mental and physical drawbacks of eating 120 raw eggs across 4 days. At the time, I was under a lot of mental pressure from being in school for something I disliked. I knew I wanted to be a YouTuber, but I put all my eggs into one basket, that being as an entertainer. But here's the thing that made this dangerous beyond just the diet. I had just moved out the house for the first time, I was living alone, and I had no real friends or family around me. So keep this in mind as we progress through the 100 hours, because it played a strong role in what ended up happening. Good morning, guys. I have a special guest with me today. What's your name? Alright, that's rude. Are you ready to be eaten alive today? The first few hours, despite the miserable texture, were actually optimistic, and as you can see, I was even cracking more jokes than eggs. But under the surface, my stomach was producing extra acid to break down the raw protein. A 1998 study compared the true allele digestibility in cooked versus raw eggs. You can think of this as the percent of protein that your body actually absorbs and can use. And the funny thing is, what they found directly contradicts a popular belief in fitness, that being raw eggs are better for building muscle. But in fact, according to the study, cooked egg protein clocked in at about 91% absorbed, whereas raw egg protein barely squeaked past 50%.
5 hours ago, I didn't think I'd make it through the day, but here I am with a swollen stomach and an upset immune system. But I made it through the first day.
Now, if we focus on that swollen stomach, which of course is a bit of an exaggeration, we can attribute it to the fact that in many people, eggs cause severe bloating and in some cases, inflammation. Now, recall the fact that I just gave my body 30 raw eggs and no support, no probiotics, no good bacteria, not even any fiber. And this problem, as you'll soon find out, will only get worse. Last night off camera, I got a little depressed, meaning like sitting in the shower type depressed. Unfortunately, this statement, unlike the other one, was not an exaggeration. You can tell because I didn't make a pun, but anyway, we can boil it down to 3 reasons. First, I was hyper-focused on the thought of food, and the fact that I was only 25% done with nothing but raw eggs ahead of me only exacerbated this problem. I'm sorry, it's just natural. Second, my mind had now attached this challenge to my only real shot at a career I enjoyed, so failing at it felt like failing at life. And on top of that, as I mentioned, there was no one around to distract me from any of it.
My morale is incredibly low, but I'm not gonna let that get me down. That's a contradiction. I just lied. My morale is super low.
The obvious culprit that you saw for the lack of energy and motivation throughout this challenge, and as you just saw in that clip, was the fact that there were no carbs in my diet, which meant that any energy I had stored up had come from before the challenge started or from fat sources. And as that distance grew, it took my energy with it. Even worse, I was working out every day of the challenge, which meant that my body, which demanded more energy, was getting met by a punch to the gut. Kind of literally, if you think about it. Therefore, there was less energy for my brain and body, but here's where it gets worse. A diet this high in animal protein with zero fiber reduces microbial diversity, which, as I've only just learned because of this challenge, affects serotonin, you might know as the happiness hormone, which is responsible for mood, sleep, and even social behavior. You see, over 90% of your body's serotonin is produced in the gut. Which means that if your gut isn't happy, neither are you. If your gut is not happy, neither are you. Serotonin, the happiness hormone, is produced not in the brain, but in the gut. What? So after 2 days of eating only raw eggs, my gut was sending signals directly to my brain to make me less happy. Now, remember when I said serotonin affects social behavior? Pair that with an already isolated individual and you'll get symptoms of frustration, loneliness, and depression, even after only 2 days. As you can see here.
No, I don't feel good. Frankly, I'm feeling miserable. But, it's worth it to get through it because I'm stronger than them. I'm strong.
Before we can go to day 3 though, something happened between days 2 and 3 that completely changed the trajectory of this challenge. Tonight was looking to be worse than the first night. And that's until I received a message from a friend that I haven't spoken to in months. Just, happy Tuesday, enjoy your day. And that's when I realized that this challenge has no right, absolutely no right to get me down. A few bad moments in one day does not mean I must have a bad day. I gotta keep moving forward. Here we can see that the psychological relief of having support, having a friend, can overcome, at least for some period of time, physical exhaustion. And in this beautiful moment, we saw that one text message did what 30, 60 at this point raw eggs couldn't. Give me energy. And although day 3 was easier because of that and the fact that I just called my mom the whole day pretty much, we know that the body follows the laws of biology and not friendship. And on day 4, the final day, the laws of biology would finally catch up to me. On day 4, I began to notice more abnormal symptoms on my body. My skin felt more wrinkled. There were small bubbles forming below my bottom lip. My throat even felt like strep. It's possible that this was an early sign of scurvy, which results from vitamin C deficiency. However, studies show that symptoms tend to appear after weeks or months rather than days. So, it may have just been something else entirely. Either way, it was my body screaming at me, telling me to stop. But thankfully, I ended up finishing the challenge, and as soon as I hit 100 hours of eating only raw eggs, I had some pretty amazing chicken. Really, really good chicken. A year removed from this challenge, I can confidently say that the hardest part wasn't the taste or the texture or how I felt, but rather being alone through it. When you strip a man of his normal routine, food, and human contact, you see what's really holding him together. For me, it was the 3 F's. Friends, family, and fiber. So if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, don't wait until you need something or someone to appreciate it or them. And also, please hit your fiber intakes. I'm begging you. If you're still in the video, by the way, thank you. And if you're wondering why I'm making this video a year removed from the challenge, it's because it's the first project that I'm doing for another channel, where basically I lock myself in a room until I master the YouTube algorithm, how to script, how to edit, and all things considered. So if you're interested in that kind of niche, finance, make money online, skill acquisition, those kinds of things, then I'll pin a comment with the title of the video so you can search for it. And the reason I won't put the link in is simply because YouTube rewards search traffic over external clicks. So only look up the video if the niche actually interests you and if it's something you already watch, otherwise it would be harmful to the channel. And if you're interested in supporting the channel for absolutely free, you can go to the description and bookmark or copy any of those Amazon links. And when you're going to purchase something on Amazon, on the device you're going to make the purchase, you can just press the link. You'll pay the same amount. The difference though is that a small percentage will go towards supporting the channel and the mission rather than just disappearing into the void. That's it though. Peace.